Okay, muchachos, I'm back. No circuses here. I had to cut out a lot to get it inside the 10-minute Facebook limit. So today we're talking about test taking strategies. Here it is. Okay, so how are we going to attack this word bank problem that I have behind me? Um, there's no rule that says we have to dive in right away and start number one. What we should do instead is step back, survey the scene, and see what we got here. We notice that we have 10 sentences and 10 blanks, and that they've given us 12 words in which to fill in those blanks. Right away, what I've done is I've rearranged those words and I've divided them up like this. I've taken 5 of those words and I've noticed that they're infinitives and I put them all together. And the other 7 words have been conjugated. So that way, when I see places where I know I need a conjugated verb, I can go to this list and cross it off. And when there's times I need an infinitive, I can go to this list and cross it off. 12 words, 10 blanks. I should have at least 2 left over when I'm done. And for the most part, they don't usually use words more than once. Usually they'll tell you that if you can use a word more than once or only use a word one time. Okay? Alrighty, so here I am. I'm all relaxed. I'm looking over the all 10 sentences here. And I know our unit was probably this chapter on the environment. I've learned all about the medio ambiente, or the environment. So you know about that. I've got my 2 lists of words here. I've got my conjugated verbs and my infinitives. And right away, something catches my eye down at the bottom. I see number 9 where it says Podemos, we can do something if somebody does something about it. Looks like aluminum and plastic and whatever vidrio is. I don't see that we're changing anybody. We were doing something at the beginning. I don't see a yo or an eos. So off of my list of conjugated verbs here, I see reciclamos and mejoramos. Well, why don't we pick reciclamos? Doesn't it kind of look like recycle? That's kind of what we've been talking about. Let's roll the dice and try that and see if that works. We can always come back later. And then I see number 10, where it says something about, you probably know what rain is. Does that look like contamination? And deforestación, that doesn't look good. Okay, deforesting. So these 3 bad things are happening to the environment, all right? And what are those bad things? What could it be? Are they controlling the environment? Probably not. Let's see. How about destroying? Does that look like what they're doing? Isn't that what those things would be doing? Let's put destroying in there. And let's see. Before I put these back up, let's take care of number 8. The tourists should take care of not doing what to the places that they visit. What does it look like? They should not do what? Should they not protect it? No, they should protect it. Should they not discover it? How about they should not contaminate? They should take care in not contaminating the places that they visit. All right? The next thing I'm going to do is look at number 1 and number 4, and I see the same conjugated verb, debemos, we ought to, and I know that almost always when I see 2 verbs in a row, and that's what we're working with here, is just verbs, 2 verbs in a row, I know the first one is conjugated and the second one is left in the infinitive. When there's 2 verbs in a row, the first one is conjugated and the second one is left in the infinitive, at least until you get to Spanish 4. All right. So in that case, since I see debemos, 2 verbs here that are conjugated, I'm going to work off my list here of my infinitives. In number 1, it says, if we see garbage in the streets, we should do something with it. Well, should we discover it? We've already discovered it because we saw it. Should we protect it? No. Then we should probably do one of these 2 things. this kind of looks like solve. Maybe we don't know what this means, but means we should pick it up. But even if we didn't, that's a good guess. Whoops. Okay. And then we have number 4. We should do something. What should we do? Should we discover it? No. How about we should protect it? All right, there you go. We have 2 more infinitives down that we cross off our list. We had 2 conjugated verbs, debemos here. When there's 2 verbs in a row, first one's conjugated, and the second one is left in the infinitive. Okay, now we're narrowing down the list, making it a little bit easier. I noticed that in numbers 2 and 3, I see the word para, in order to, okay, and we know that that has to be followed by an infinitive. We have 2 infinitives left, so it just remains for us to decide where these 2 go here. Number 2, it says the scientists work in order to something new solutions. All right, I think we know this word is discover. Maybe we don't even know what this word is yet, but discover, does that make sense? The scientifics work in order to discover new solutions. That means in number 3 we're left with is necessary that we all work together in order to resolve the problems of the environment. All right, does it make sense? Does this kind of look like the word solve, by the way? Our lists are getting shorter now, and I'm going to do one that I think I can just recognize. I don't really need process of elimination. Here it says, number 7, all the persons are something by the contamination. Something bad is happening there to those persons. I know that there's more than one person because there's an S, personas, and I know that it's a feminine word because it's AS. And here I see AS in están afectadas. What do you suppose that means? All the people are affected by the contamination. All right, we're closing in on this. I'm looking at number 5, and it tells us that many new laws do something with the number of trees that can be cut down. Controlling, caring for, or developing goes with numbers here. How about controlling? Doesn't that make sense? Control on. Many new laws control the number of trees that can be cut down. All righty, that leaves us with 2 words left for 1 blank. The first civilizations do something near the rivers and the seas or oceans. Okay, well, what could it be? It's a 50-50 chance. Well, we think we probably got 9 out of 10 right already, so we're doing pretty good. We could flip a coin. Maybe we've seen this word before, cuidan, care for. Maybe we saw it being used with babysitting. Does that ring a bell? So did the first civilizations babysit near the rivers and the seas? Maybe, maybe, but I don't think so. This is what we're going to put in. They developed near the rivers and seas. Now, if you knew what that word meant, great. You maybe could have plopped that in first thing. But if you weren't sure what that word meant, leaving it till the end means you had at least a 50-50 chance. And then after we eliminated this one, even if you didn't know what this word meant, say desarrollaron, you had it. Okay, you could put it in the blank. See, doesn't that make it a little bit easier? Okay, muchachos, I chopped up just enough to leave me 15 seconds at the end. Did that help? Until next time, hasta luego. See you later. Ciao.